Atheists on the internet have got this reputation of being very unprincipled. Of course, that's nothing surprising, because atheism generally corresponds to leftism, which is basically a notion of consequentialist and rhetorical tactics. Let's look at a recent example of that, where atheists on the blog Friendly Atheist go on a limb to attack freedom of speech in USA and defend it in Brazil, just for the sake of their politics. Atheists at the Friendly Atheist blog are fuming over pastors in Brazil suing a journalist over a tweet. What was the tweet? The tweet was, translated into English, it reads, Brazilians will only be free when the last Bolsonaro is strangled with the entrails of the last pastor from the Universal Church. So basically arguing in effect that freedom of Brazil is contingent on the killing of political opponents and the religious leaders. The statement is a rendition of a quote attributed to Diderot and Voltaire, both Enlightenment thinkers. Man will never be free until the last king is strangled with the entrails of the last priest, which has been modified to suit the context of Brazil by the journalist. The atheists have argued that it is just a satire, which makes little sense because the quote is based on a poem by Diderot, where he says, and his hands would plait the priest's entrails for want of a rope to strangle kings, where he really means it, even if in a more metaphorical sense of destroying monarchy and religion. This statement should come as a shock to those who wish to defend political and religious tolerance, as atheists often say they do, and as the reporter has found himself being sued by multiple religious leaders, he has claimed victim status and said that he is being unfairly targeted. Internet atheists see this as the inability of the president's allies and the religious to handle basic criticism, showing what the atheists consider as a basic criticism. They think that Christians are not turning the other cheek and being cruel to the journalist who thinks their death is essential for the freedom of the country. They think that Christians are playing victims here by not tolerating this different idea. Now let us move to the USA. Here, Friendly Atheist blog has an article where Trump-appointed judges are blamed for not persecuting therapists who wish to talk kids out of being homosexual. The court's opinion is that the First Amendment precludes any content-based restrictions on speech, and talking with kids about homosexuality, even if to discourage them from transitioning to it, is speech. The atheists on the blog think that because such a speech is unscientific, it can be penalized, when no such exception exists in the First Amendment. There is no rhyme and reason as to why atheists decided that is based on some consistent principle. It is just pure politics. The vacuum of atheism needs to be filled, and what is filled with is some political and social ideology that is often against any power that religion has, and that dictates the atheist campaign. This is the reason why the blog about atheism is concerned about conversion laws and conversion therapies, which are not related to atheism, and liberal quotes about monarchism and what they see as theocratic fascism. This is not just atheism. This is a specific version of leftist atheism that is against religion and against theocracy, and there is no reason even for atheists to be against these systems unless of course they have political opinion that masquerades as atheism.